on that wheel, you've got like a pie in the sense that you compartmentalize different demands. So you've got communication here, you've got confidence here, self-belief here. This is a profile I did for a footballer that played in the Premier League, for example. But I've done this profiling now for nearly 20 years with top athletes and footballers and sports people. But this is a profile, for example, with a player at the highest level. And what we sort of decided to focus on was confidence, self-belief, communication, dealing with pressure, motivation, mental preparation, application effort, focus, emotional regulation. So there were sort of the areas. Then what you do, you can see here, there's like a scale of 1 to 10. Like a little dot in the middle, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a spectrum of 0 to 10. And what that spectrum is 0 being, the bottom of the level, 10 being the highest level. Okay, so we're going to go into more detail shortly. So, for example, you identify a top performer. Let's just use for simplicity. I work with many people. Let's use for simplicity someone that you guys know. Just for simplicity, we can change it, and I'll bring in examples as we go along. Let's say we can bring in someone that you know. I haven't worked with this guy, but obviously Tony Basher has. So we'll say Mitchell Duke. I've seen Mitchell play when I was in Australia years ago, and I did rate him highly, but I haven't worked with him directly, but Tony Basher has. So you guys know him. He's come through the academy as well. So we'll use that. Is everyone okay to use that as an example? Yeah? Because I don't want to bring in players that you might not know that I've worked with until I know you know them, but still you can relate to. So let's use for an example, just for simplicity. Let's say Mitchell Duke for handling pressure is 10 out of 10. And for confidence is 9 out of 10. For self-belief is, say, 8 out of 10. So you would profile your exemplar. And then what you would do is you would give yourself a mark out of 10. Let's take one example. Let's say, and Tony will know a lot more than me and the coaching staff, because I don't know Mitchell in that sense. I've only seen him play from far afield, and when I've been to the academy when he was very young, he probably doesn't remember me, but I've been to the academy a lot of times. But let's say he's at 10 for handling pressure. And what you do is you take your score and you give yourself an honest appraisal, and that could be 5 out of 10. Then you minus 10 from 5, and you've got your score is 5. And then what you do, when I mentioned you can rank the scores before, in ranking the scores, what you do is you times it by the highest ranked score for you. But that we'll get to. So let me give you an example. So Mitchell Duke, say 10 out of 10 for handling pressure. Your score's 5 out of 10. You minus 10 from 5, you've got 5, and you times that from say pressure's the third on the list for you at number 7. So 5 times 7 is 35. And then you do that with every category, and that tells you which one is the most important for you to work on. Now, I'm going to talk you through this step by step, so it's okay if you're not quite clear at this moment. I will talk you through it. So what we do now, first of all, this is an example from a player that I worked with years ago in the Premier League. Okay, now he scored, I've got the scores. He was scoring 9 out of 10 for belief, 9 out of 10 for confidence, 9 out of 10 for pressure, 5 out of 10 for motivation. It dropped a little bit. So I won't go into it this moment in time. Mental preparation had gone down to about 5. Application effort had gone down to about 7 or 8. And that's a controllable factor. And that's one I use with many teams. So for example, I went into some teams that are struggling, not just players, but teams. We focus on application effort. There's one thing you can control, application effort. Focus, he was about 7. Emotional regulation, about 7. And then we looked at where he was at his best and people who he played with at the highest, and we sort of subtracted the scores to incrementally get back to where he was before, just to give you a bit of an example. But for simplicity, we'll use the example. What I want you to do now is choose one area, choose pressure, and I want you to tell the person you're working with, what does dealing with pressure mean to you in the game of football? What does dealing with pressure mean to you? And I'm going to talk you through it. We're going to sort of grade it and go from there. So just talking to the person next to you, maybe someone different, tell them, what does dealing with pressure mean to you?